Kia ora, I'm Keith Niwa, Rugby.
Kia ora, I'm Walker, Rugby.
Kia ora, I'm Rino Wilkinson. Aussie, oi.
Those are the fools that you'll be listening to on this Full-Time Rugby Special.
Getting straight into it here on our Full-Time Rugby Special, the Wallabies. They actually went and wobbled the All Blacks, didn't they,
Oh, indeed, getting straight into it as our middle name. I mean, probably because we've only got a short time frame, but no. A great game last night. Sad the boys couldn't cut the proverbial mustard, but we've got the encounter again this weekend, so we'll take something away from that game.
What will we take away from that game there, Reno?
Yeah, I suppose a lot of work on discipline, as Steve Hansen said at the end of the match as well. Kieran Reid at the end as well, he spoke about that, with the loss of Barrett, which was a major key moment prior to the halftime with the red card. But you can't take nothing away from the Australians. They deserved that win. They started playing full on as soon as that whistle went. And, yeah, like I say, the whole 80 minutes, they may have had a lull there going into the halftime, but otherwise never seen the Wallaby team play like that before.
Big scoreline, you know. It's that's the thing with the bloomin' Aussies. You just cannot trust them, you know. They're supposed to lose this, you know, but I guess they went and wobbled the All Blacks, didn't they, Reno? Yeah,
right across the field. Their forwards actually quite dominated our forwards as well. We just had no go forward from our team. The back line, just as we are, knowing to be experimenting at the stage with Bodie at the back and Richie at 10. Obviously, with Jack Goodhue going off with a slight little injury to his hamstring. They want him back next week, hopefully, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah, a few changes, but, hey, you can't take nothing away. All the credit really does go to the Australians. They're not celebrating at this stage. They know they've got one hand on the Bledisloe Cup. It's been 16 years since they've last held it, and they've got to do the job in 6 days at Eden Park. So, yeah, it was a hell of a game, and, well, it just didn't go our way. You know, I tell you what, though, we never gave up.
No, the All Blacks never do. They wouldn't have a clue what that is. I mean, but once Scotty Barrett, got sent off, that was, it's going to be really tough for any All Black team after that, eh?
You're right, Keithy, and a few calls didn't go our way, and I take my hat off to the Aussies because they didn't didgeridoo us, they didgeridoo us.
Yeah.
And, if we can learn from that match and bounce back this coming weekend, as I made mention, then all the better. But my finger's on the big one that we're all after, but we'll learn from this, I hope, because we have to. If we don't, it's going to be another disappointing year.
What's Shag going to do? What's Shag going to do for the next test there, Amra?
Well, that's a $1 million question, Keithy. I mean, Shag at this stage in his tenure in his career as All Black coach, he's got a lot of options and a lot of possibilities. There has been word to maybe bring Mahalo back from wherever he may be. But look, they've got the team there. They've just got to get those combinations right, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's sort of manipulating them, and hopefully we can get the right, groupings for the World Cup. If we lose a few along the way, so be it. But that's where we have to be on our game, so to speak. So hopefully we'll get that equation right.
Because that was our number one team there, Reno. That was our number one team, without a doubt. You know, that was our top team. And, well, we got smashed, didn't we?
Yeah, it is our top team at this stage. You know, we still got others to come back. There's talks about Sonny Bill Williams, who played for Counties Manukau in the Mitre 10 Cup yesterday. Had a pretty good game, but he could come back in there, play at Eden Park in number 12, and you move Anton out to number 13. So it's just kind of getting their midfield combination sorted. He's pretty happy where Bodie is playing out at fullback.
Yep.
And, of course, Richie Moonga at first. So it looks like Richie will do the kicking duties for most of the game. But, it's just their midfield combination. Just a few key areas they're going to work on. And it's just one of those games. The big one is obviously next month when we start in Japan. First game against South Africa. That's our next big encounter after this one. But, yeah, it's a lot of work for Shag. He knows that. But I bet you... he was telling them off in the changing shed at the end of it, but we just got to move forward and into the next one.
Oh, you could tell he was definitely going to be telling them off. I mean, I don't know whether it was just good enough or the Aussies, it was kind of a mixture for me anyway, Ra? The Aussies just that day too good, and to an extent they just weren't good enough, the All Blacks, eh?
Yeah, and you're right, Keith. It's as simple as that. There's nothing mathematical about it. Our boys just weren't on their game, and we need to be in the next few encounters, especially the big one I keep going on about. But look, good on the Australians. They've got a bit of confidence now. I assume that they went into this match feeling a little bit nervous, thinking they were going to feel the black backlash, but not to be, and they came out victors. So watch this space.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go to our other game. Of course, there was the game that really kicked off things, I dare say, over there in Perth was the Black Ferns up against the Wallaroos. Good game, Rino?
Yeah, it was a good game, especially for Rino Wilkinson, who scored the first opening try there in celebrating their 40th game in the black jersey. And, this girls team, the Wallaroos team, were keen to come out there and really give it to the Black Ferns, and it's been a long time since they've had a win over our world champion team. So you take nothing away from the Black Ferns. Played pretty well structured. Got the ball out wide, had them on the fringes, and it's a good win. It's a moment to savour over there. And I tell you what, the fans and the family that flew over there to support the girls, let alone the All Blacks as well, which you don't see that often, where you see the pretty well a stadium in Australia covered in black more so than the Wallaby colours. But yeah, no, take nothing away from the girls. They do it again this weekend, this Saturday night, curtain raise at Eden Park.
Yeah, I know. Looking forward to it. You'd be happy to know that our own local girl, Charmaine McMiniman, she scored 2 tries in that game too. Ra.
Yeah, always good to see our local female players doing well, Keithy. But, good to have my cousin Alan, Uncle Alf Horomia's daughter, playing for the opposition. Sadly, that's Uncle Parukura's niece as well. But, no, I think our women's rugby is a lot stronger than our men. So, the best of luck to them. But we've got to get our main team right, and that'll be the focus of attention for this Saturday's rematch.
Yeah. I think it'll be a different game. Well, it was quite interesting because the first game was a complete turnaround in comparison. What was the score? 41-27, I think, in the women's game, which was almost for the Black Ferns, which was almost the complete opposite in the men's game there, Reno?
Yeah, it was. This Black Ferns team is still working their way. They're building up. They've got a lot of youngsters who came on. A couple of made their debut last night. And it's just a building progress because the big one's not until 2 more years until we host the World Cup in our backyard here. So that's where they're focusing on at this stage. And the experience of players in there just makes it work well. So the brilliance of the girls, it's good to watch. They're entertaining. They just want to throw the ball around and do what they do and represent the country proud.
Yeah, absolutely. And they certainly did do that. Of course, there are a number of Kiwi girls, as there usually is in an Aussie team. There are a number of Kiwi girls in that Aussie team, weren't there, Reno?
Yeah, heaps of Kiwi girls out there. You just better Kiwis versus Kiwis, to be honest. Yeah. And I think about those poor Kiwi girls on their side, especially when they stand in front at the start of the game and watch the girls do the haka. Most of the girls have Māori heritage, and they must go through their mind. They would wish to have been there on their side doing something that they're familiar with and what they grew up around with, and it's part of their history. So that's just one of the sad notes, but give them recognition. They're representing an international team. They're on the big show and got to get out there and do the mahi.
Absolutely, and not just that, but I know for a fact that even though there are a number of Kiwi girls playing in that Aussie team, they're doing their whānau and their family proud, as well as New Zealand too, in a way too, aren't they?
Oh, totally right, So, they'll be building up. Look, they're a good team. They just got beaten by the better team on the day. Like the men's team, honestly, the men's team, the Wallabies team, did the All Blacks on the All Blacks.
Yes.
And that's how we look at it like that. So there's something in this Wallaroos team. The girls can only get better and build. They're also focusing on 2021. So, I love the girls' game, mate, and it's good to see them curtain raising for the men's game.
Absolutely. It's great to watch, actually. Great to watch. Looking forward to our next game. Ra, what are you predicting for the All Blacks and the Wobblies in the next game, bro?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot closer match, Keithy, and I hope we do come away with a victory. I'd like to put a big shout out to my cousin who's a police officer in Perth, who was at the game with his Australian Māori girls, and they could one day be playing for Australia, the Wallabies as well. So, that's the closeness of these matches between us and our neighbours across the ditch there. One day soon, Keithy, I hate to say, you might get a Wallabies team or an Australian women's team with the majority being Māori maybe, or of Māori descent.
True enough, eh? What do you expect in the up-and-coming game next weekend there, Reno?
Yeah, I think more physicality. I think the crowd at Eden Park will be pretty well dominant in black. We'll get behind the boys. They'll be learning now to watch this young man, Nick White, at number 9, who had an outstanding game. I'll tell you what, he moved the game for the Wallabies to the next level. He's starting to run from down at the breakdown, at the maul. He's got that different thing where Aaron Smith hasn't had as much. So he dominated at the halves, especially not kicking the ball away down to the return, the winger who got the tries. Outstanding. So, they'll be keeping the ball close, and I would guess, and we'll see what happens. But, they'll be trying to work on defence and a few little errors, I think, to kind of counteract this. And, Steve Hansen will be working on the boys this week.
He certainly will be. There'll be a lot going on. So, real quick, some of the games in the Mitre 10 Cup there. Reno, did you watch? I know you couldn't watch too much of it, but did you watch much of it yourself?
Yeah, Tasman just dominated Wellington. Good to see Liam Squire. Look, there's a name I'll tell you now. He could get himself back in the World Cup team.
I agree.
Outstanding. Had an outstanding game. So they're 2 strong, 45-8 over Wellington Lions. Carney's Monaco, as I said, Sonny Bill out there. They went down to Taranaki at the end, 29-34. The big upset, though, was Waikato, who got a try at the end there, 31-28 over the Canterbury team at FMG Stadium last night. We still got today Bay of Plenty, Otago, Manawatu, and the Hawke's Bay Magpies.
Yes. Now, it's interesting that you bring up Liam Squire, because I tell you what, one of the things I think that is not quite working, and that's having 2 open side flankers. In my mind anyway, it just doesn't seem to be working, and it has never worked, quite frankly. In my head, you pick one or the other and get an actual specialist blindside flanker. What do you reckon, Reno?
Yeah, totally agree. Look, Sam Cane's still not 100% fit. You could see it last night. He was struggling, I would say, after the 20th minute mark, trying to get back in defence. There was a couple of minor errors that he made, and turnover ball as such. If I was me and I had to select, you'd have to go with Kieran Reid at number 8. That's the foregone conclusion as captain. Start Artie on the number 7 and bring Liam Squire back. The physicality and the strength of this guy at number 6. Bring Sam Cane off the bench, impact player. We know how brilliant he is as a player. He just needs more game time.
I mean, I just can't understand why he's not even in the selection process, to be quite honest. He is our best blindside flanker in the country, in my opinion anyway. So, that's my thoughts. What do you reckon, Ra?
Well, Shag's got his mindset made up, Keithy. He's got something that he'd like to see from the players he chooses, and I think it's all part of that experimentation phase of finding those combinations. So once again, as I alluded to watch the space, and if it doesn't work out, well, we'll know all about it in the results of the matches, but hopefully he'll get those combos right, and we'll see better performances from the men in black.
Yeah, I guess so. Want to send a big shout out going out to the number 1 team in the world, Wales. Congratulations. How the heck does Wales become the number 1 side in the world there, Reno?
You get a French referee to conduct the game in the middle, stuff it all up, and any team can win on the day. Look, he was a Frenchman that sent SBW off the field. Yep. And Scotty Barrett's now got him into the mix there with only so many ABs. Sir Colin Meads, the late Sir Colin, was one of those way back in the day. It was many years ago when the last lock got sent off, which was Colin. So, unfortunately, Scotty's got him into the history books there. But how did Wales get there? Good question.
No, I have no idea, bro.
IRB, mate.
Yeah. IRB. Anyway, that is us on our full-time special, or the only thing left to say is, I'm Keith Niwa, Rugby, Rugby, Rugby.
I'm Raoul Walker, Rugby.
And I'm Rino Wilkinson at Rugby, 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 out.
Those were the Fools on this Full-Time Rugby Special.